We know that during this time, there is no social media, but there are too many avenues for the Supremes to take then that they can promote themselves and not rely on Motown. That's why I say I agree with Tony Turner in regards to Berry Gordy spoiling his artists to the point of entitlement. Love bugs, hello there, Bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share, subscribe, and tip your favorite narrator via Cash App at $NAROB on YouTube. And if you are not already a part of this book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube, and for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes, you can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's continue reading Mary Wilson's Supreme Faith. I don't know what a cover is, but you know what we read. So let me apologize in advance because the boys are right here in my lap. The little one just got neutered. So if you hear some snoring, just know that the Hines brothers wore each other out from practice all this morning. So they're finally taking a rest, okay? Do not charge this snoring to my video. Those of you who've been around a long while, y'all know that y'all know about that. Earlier that year, Linda Jean and I were discussing our trouble getting a decent record out. When Linda suggested, why don't I talk to Stevie about it? We're still great buddies. He'll write us something. When Linda proposed the idea to Stevie, he accepted immediately and gave us this song called Bad Weather. She begins talking about how in 1971, Stevie Wonder was like, I need more creative control. Fuck all that doo-wop, bop-bop shit that worked in the 60s. I need more control, okay? And Berry was reluctant, of course, but you know that eventually Stevie Wonder won. Motown had lost performers before, but never anyone it really wanted to keep. In addition to his long line of hit singles, Stevie was one of the few Motown acts to develop a broader audience. The contract Stevie finally agreed to granted him the greatest freedom of any Motown artist. His new contract allowed him to produce other artists, enabling him to work with the Supremes. We recorded Bad Weather in Detroit during a run at the nearby Elmwood Casino, believing this style would put us back in good standing with the disc jockeys. I encouraged Linda and Jean to do some informal promotion, but they refused. So how do you expect for Berry Gordy to help you when you won't help yourself? It's like the only person that's invested in the Supremes is Mary Wilson. And that's what makes her the Supreme, because she believed in the Supremes wholeheartedly. That is dedication, baby. To myself, what the fuck is wrong with them that they can't get out there and talk to the radio stations? Pause. We going back to the George Clinton book. George Clinton said that because they were so freaky and out of control, and George Clinton was pulling stunts, he had the same group named 3 different things getting 3 different monies. The record companies wouldn't promote them. So what he did was go around to different radio stations in different cities to promote his own albums. And I respect that. And the fact that Mary Wilson wanted to do that with the girls, I mean, it says dedication. But for real, Mary Wilson, you really don't need them bitches to go from station to station and say hello to the disc jockeys. Remember when she was on the Soul Train? And she was there looking so beautiful. You beautiful, thank you. Oh, she looked so good. If I remember correctly, she danced down the Soul Train line with Don Cornelius. Don Cornelius. That's probably one of the only times that he danced down the Soul Train line. Things like that matter to the public. Pause. I know you like that. You always talking too much. I had a lot of coffee this morning. If you can think about it, a lot of these artists are connecting with social media influencers. Like that dude, Kai Cenat. I don't know the little boy name. But when I tell you, everybody tries to go down to his basement. Who else has he had on there? Kodak Blackie. Oh my God, that poor little boy. Somebody throw him in a rehab. And then it's another, it's a girl that is a dancer, Glorilla teamed up with. So it's not just about depending on your record company. Now we know that during this time, there is no social media, but there are too many avenues for the Supremes to take then that they can promote themselves and not rely on Motown. That's why I say I agree with Tony Turner in regards to Berry DeGordy spoiling his artists to the point of entitlement. And I'm not changing on it. It's things they could have done. Of course, you could always contact the Jet magazine, the Tasha K of the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, and 90s that when social media came in, it all fell apart. Okay. You could contact Essence magazine. In fact, one of you hussies could get naked round there to the Playboy magazine. I know Hugh Hefner got the propensity to like the chocolate. You can host TV shows, talent shows. Hence what Mary Wilson did on Soul Train. You can go to local record stores. It's a lot of things that you can do to put the effort in. Okay? You don't necessarily need a big team. Child, we're going to find out something else when it comes down to how Berry DeGordy had helped to promote his artist. Y'all just stay tuned. It's coming. I encouraged Linda and Jean to do some informal promotion, but they refused. I understood their thinking that Motown should be doing more, but it wasn't. And I figured that was all the more reason for us to get out there. Whether Motown was right or wrong wasn't the issue. Our careers were at stake. I'd tried rekindling the offstage camaraderie I'd shared with Flo and later Cindy, but Jean was never one to go out, and Linda declined my offers, saying she didn't feel she had the right clothes to wear and so on. Further driving me apart from Jean and Linda was their recent conversion to Jehovah's Witnesses faith. At the time, they were so tight and wound up then that it was hard for the J-Dubs to associate with people outside of the JW family. So I could see how Mary felt further alienated. So y'all know that we have J-Dubs in our family. Baby, I'm telling you right now, the internet is tearing all these religions up right now. What I'm happy about is that the J-Dubs are making changes in order to suit a wider audience. Before, after, and between shows, the two of them closed themselves off and studied the Bible. Jean claimed that since she and Linda had started reading the Bible, she was honest and guided by God. That's another thing. The J-Dubs don't believe in a flashy lifestyle. So being a supreme goes their faith. Okay? You need to be humble. It ain't like they making no money. But the JWs believe that a worldly life only brings in evil and danger. I can see how the truth could have alienated Mary Wilson. And Mary Wilson said in order for her to save the group and save the relationship, she started studying the JW faith also. Not because she believed in it. She said she studied it just so she can help mend the camaraderie. Jean believed her way was the only true way. That's the truth. I promised myself I would try to join them, not only for whatever comfort it might bring me, but I was tired of being left out. Maybe this would help bring us together again as a singing group. Despite everything else, we still had a wonderful sound. In 1973, when I was 29 and still single, my mother's warnings, don't end up an old maid. When are you going to give me some grandchildren? Began getting to me. Family has always been very important to me, and I desperately wanted to have children. But I also knew that I could never bear a child out of wedlock. I wanted to settle down. Finally, yeah, you're tired of fucking on everybody else's man. Now you want your own man. Congratulations, Mary Wilson. Opening night in Puerto Rico, I looked out from the stage of the Flamboyant Hotel and spotted the most handsome black man in the audience. It was funny because I made it a point not to date fans and had never noticed anyone before when performing. And Mary, you know now if that mother was married sitting in the crowd, you would have spotted his ass. Red alert! But this man with his deep brown eyes and gorgeous features was different. We made eye contact several times, or at least it seemed that way to me. You never can tell at those distances. After the show, the phone rang and Linda answered. Mary, she said, it's for you. It's Pedro. I don't know anyone named Pedro. Ask him where I know him from. He says he met you in Las Vegas, but that he was at the show tonight too. I didn't recall meeting him, but that didn't mean it hadn't happened. He asked me to have a drink with him, and at first I hesitated. Jean and Linda, both seriously dating their future husbands, egged me on. I can't go out with a man I don't know, I protested. But you can. A married man? Girl, stop it. Yet for some strange reason, I said yes. When we met face to face in the hotel lobby, I realized Pedro was the man in the audience. He said hi, then French kissed me. Girl, didn't you learn your lesson from that monococcoli bus? All y'all sucking on each other? Passing around the mononucleosis? I couldn't believe any gentleman could be so forward. I was turned off, but somehow fascinated too. Ooh, he sounds like a Sagittarian man. That's what they do, girl. They grab what they want. I'm gonna have to Google that. For one of the first times in my life, I decided to take a chance. And as I wrote in my diary several days later, he took me out, and that was it. We've been together ever since. It was the beginning of a dream romance, except for one hitch. I had just started dating a wonderful man named Freddie.